Hey there, responders and RMPs. Chrissy Brooks here with our hypothetical week ending 5/31/2025. I hope you had a good Memorial Day weekend, a safe Memorial Day weekend, and this is the last week of May. It's a little crazy. It's gone fast. So grab your decision trees. We are going to work through our decision trees and response sheets. We're going to read every word out loud because it's good practice and it keeps our mind fresh. So here is our situation. A box with both a non-flammable gas 2.2 hazard label and the UPS hazardous material shipping papers UN 1006 argon compressed 2.2 is leaking on a belt line. There is a small hissing noise coming from within this box. You open the box to discover one pressurized cylinder of argon gas leaking from the valve. There are no fumes that irritate the skin, no visible fumes, smoke, or irritating odors. Answer the questions below based on this scenario. So I'm going to let you guys go through your decision tree, read through all the boxes, make sure you're reading every word out loud, come back when you're done, and we'll chat about the answers. All right, so as we worked through our decision tree, at the top, we had a no up here at the top. So we end up green box right here. It does have a diamond hazard label. So we're going to come across. It's not prohibited. It's not something that's allowed in our system, but that we clean up. So we end up in the green box over here. This box tells us if it's not an edible liquid, we're saying no. Argon gas is not an edible liquid. So we're going to end up down here in our yellow box. We need to have a designated responder with proper PPE come and clean up this package. So we are going to pick our yellow box. UPS designated responder must clean up the spill. Then the response sheet or containment sheet that we're going to go to is going to be non-flammable gas because that's our hazard label. So what did the response sheet or containment sheet tell you to do that applies specifically to this damage? So let's go ahead and find our non-flammable gas response sheet. And I believe that it is page 11. So page 11. And I'm going to go ahead and read through this, and then I'm going to show you guys ETT with the waste disposal flow chart, because compressed gas cylinders are something that we get a lot of questions about. We don't see them very often, but a lot of them are something that Veolia does not deal with. So when we get to the waste disposal flow chart, we're going to go to ETT and check it out. So hazards may be poison if it's inhaled. Vapor may be extremely irritating. Contact may cause burns to the skin and eyes. Material may burn but will not ignite readily. Cylinder may explode if exposed to heat or fire. Some liquid cryogenics, such as liquid nitrogen, may be extremely cold when first released. If there is a noticeable skin irritation due to fumes or vapors, do not attempt to clean up. Follow the chain of command, notify your environmental coordinator, and an outside responder must be called in immediately for cleanup. PPE you should be wearing: goggles, boots, gloves, and apron. Response action steps: attempt to close the valve. So hey, right there, there's our answer. Attempt to close the valve. Remove the leaking cylinder outdoors to a well-ventilated area away from heat or fire. Place a warning sign or use caution tape in the area to warn other employees to keep away. Follow supplier instructions as to the return or disposition of the cylinder. If the supplier cannot be contacted, seal the non-leaking cylinder in a DMP bag with all shipping labels visible and notify your environmental coordinator, who will arrange for the disposal of the material. Waste disposal and decontamination, UPS small package. Designated responder shall refer to the waste disposal flow chart for proper disposition of the package contents and contaminated packaging material or debris. Refer to the decontamination checklist. After the response and disposal process is completed, decontaminate any areas of the body or equipment that may have been exposed by utilizing the decontamination checklist. All right, so in this particular damage, we're going to attempt to close that valve. It's going to close because it says in our thing that the valve is open. So we're going to close that valve. Then we're either going to try to get a hold of the shipper to find out how they would like it returned to them. If we can't get a hold of the shipper, then we're going to wrap it up into a green DMP bag, and we're going to get environmental on the phone. We're going to give them a ring and tell them what we've got going on, and then they will let us know how we will be recycling that cylinder. All right, moving on. So, can you sign into the MFA page? Hopefully that one's a yes. I know we've still got a lot of people out there without their tokens working. I'm trying to help as many of you as I can. And there's just sometimes that I can't do it. Sometimes it has to be a phone call to tech support. So I will continue to try to help you as much as I can. Continue contacting your health and safety supervisors as well, and have them helping you get into the system. Then I verify that I can sign into ETT with the password generated on the MFA login site using my RACFID and my token. Again, hopefully that one's a yes. Next page. So I know that I need to access that waste disposal flowchart electronically for every leaker that I will dispose of, and I can get into the quick reference guide in ETT. I know how to do that. So yes, we're going to mark that one. All right, so here's our waste disposal flowchart. And which box on the waste disposal flowchart did our damage lead to? I'm going to open up ETT, and we're going to click on our operator's quick reference guide right here. And it should probably take me to the waste disposal flowchart. We'll see. No, for some reason I was on biohazards as my last expedition. So we're going to go back up to the top, click here on our waste disposal flowchart. So spilled or leaking liquid or powder surrender to the DMP. Spilled outside a vehicle except when inside of a facility or entered a drain or has reportable quantity listed on the shipping papers. That one's all going to be no. Does the spilled product fall into one of these categories? Contains nicotine or other acute hazardous waste, biohazard substance or biomedical, pressurized cylinder. That one's a yes. So our answer on the Hypo is going to be red box. And then when we're on the waste disposal flowchart, we're going to click right here on this Appendix Q. And this is going to tell us exactly what we need to do to dispose of that cylinder. So if your environmental coordinator has told you to fill out the Veolia cylinder questionnaire, you're going to fill this out, follow the steps in this quick reference guide appendix to dispose of that pressurized cylinder. So it's all in this Appendix Q, everything that you need to do for that disposal. All right, I'm going to minimize this down so we can get back to our Hypo. So red box, we're going to refer to operator's quick reference guide for a specific procedure. And then what do you do with Ricker clean containers? Container, we empty it out, we get to chuck it in the trash can, as long as it's not acute hazardous waste. So we're going to throw them away. What tool do you use that tells you how to dispose of hazardous material? Of course, our waste disposal flowchart. And hopefully you've got your DOK done. Excuse me, if you haven't yet, this is the last week of the month, so we need to be completing our DOKs. That also keeps our mind fresh in those emergency situations, so we're not panicking. And hey, if you don't know what a DOK is, shoot me an email. I'll get you a copy of it. And finally, we're going to do our drop downs. So let's see, we'll go ahead and make sure that my son's in here. Of course, if your name does not show up on this drop down, contact the health and safety or compliance supervisor that is for your area. They will contact me, or maybe they know why your respiratory indicator is off. If you're not on my drop downs, it's because your respiratory indicator is off and you need to talk to the person that is in charge of your respiratory indicator. So to complete your Hypo, we're going to click this forward arrow. That's going to end you up on that last page. Thanks for completing the Hypo. And you're done for this week. You're done for the month of May. Yay. So complete your Hypo. Make sure that you are reading through everything so that you understand what you need to do in the situation of a non-flammable gas leaking cylinder. And have a great week. Enjoy the last week of May, and we'll see you guys all here next week. Have a great one. Thank you.